Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part two of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 23rd. We're through December 27th. We're in part two of our weekly trading game plan. We'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. We'll also talk about how we can use dividend payers and several option strategies to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So let's get started. Welcome, RT Nagam. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. Welcome, MD. Thank you for joining us today. So here's our Google document with our notes for part two of our weekly trading game plan for December 23rd through December 27th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. Our notes documents contain links to bonus videos, to the tools and resources we use to trade our top swing trading stocks to watch, etc. If you have not already seen part one of our weekly trading game plan for this trading week, titled Make Money Trading the December 2024 Federal Reserve Interest Rate Decision, we'd highly recommend you also view part one, as that contains our market analysis, trade strategies, trade ideas for this trading week. We keep all of our notes documents in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part one, as well as previous weekly trading game plan notes. And you can find a direct link to that Google Drive folder also in the description box below. Welcome, Fairchild. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So firstly, we'll go over a couple of trade updates for this week, and then we'll look at those charts in Webull as well. So firstly, we sold some cash secured puts on Sirius XM at 23 strike price at January expiration on the 19th for $245 per contract. And again, our strategy is when SIRI was dropping, we sold those cash secured puts. It has rebounded somewhat, and we'll try to buy those back cheaper and get a self-generated dividend, and then again, rinse and repeat. You can hear our previous thesis on Sirius XM via the links to the several videos in the notes. Also, you'll see in our Discord, the bounce back was in part that looks like Buffett bought some more and is holding about 10% still of Sirius XM. At this point, given they're losing a lot of money, I'm more apt to swing the puts. So we'll sell the puts when it's going down, buy them back when it's going back up. But again, I'm more apt to swing the puts at this point than buy the shares. Our second trade for this week was we went long TMF. TMF is the leverage long on 20-plus year Treasury bills, or Treasury bonds. We've been talking about how they're somewhat, in my humble opinion, somewhat irrational reaction where bond yields jumped way back up to like 4.7 the 30 year or so. So it depressed prices. So TLT came down. We had an existing position in TMF, so I wanted to round that position off so I can sell options against it, covered calls against it. So I bought back in just above the previous 52-week low. I was probably a little bit early. Probably should have waited for the bottom in TLT. So there's still an opportunity for you to get in at a good price in either TLT or TMF. We have a video on various ETFs you can use to trade treasuries, and you can access that video via the link in the notes. Just very quickly, although I don't ever don't recommend anyone blindly following us into or out of trades. It would help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, to be notified when we enter or exit a trade. You can get real-time notifications when we enter or exit a trade by joining our Patreon. I'll post those to the Patreon members. You'll get an email notification, etc. when we enter or exit a trade. Also, we have several channels in our Discord available to our Patreon members with additional types of alerts that I'll quickly show you. And you can hear this video, bonus video, on how you can use our trade alerts to make money trading, succeed your trading career via the link in the notes. So again, in our Discord, we have several alerts channels available to our Patreon members. The first is the Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel. So I also have price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to the Thinkorswim alerts channel in our Discord. You can see on the 17th, one of the impetuses for me looking at SIRI in terms of either buying shares or selling puts was that Sirius XM hit their 52-week low. So I started looking at that. And again, we ended up following that up with a trade on the, what was it, the 19th, where we sold cash secured puts. So if I do make a trade directly related to that Thinkorswim price alert, I'll reply in the Thinkorswim channel. If it's not directly related to a Thinkorswim alert, then I will post that in the trade alerts channel. So you can see when we went long, more TMF. So again, all those accessible to our Patreon members. Also, we have a real-time alerts channel with alerts generated by our automated systems when stocks are moving up, breaking out, near our price targets, near a support level. And you can hear more about how you can use this alerts channel to find stocks that are moving up, breaking out, near a support level via the link to the video in our notes. So again, here's our real-time alerts. Again, great for short-term traders, scalpers, etc., day traders. Also a great way to see shifts in the market, sector rotations. So here we see nail breaking out. That means that home builders rotating back up. Breaking out, so oil going up. Wheat near our price target. So again, wheat bottoming out. So again, another great resource for short-term traders to see when stocks are moving up, if you're a breakout trader, etc., or again, sector rotations, changes in sentiment in the market. And you can get access to all of those by joining our Patreon again. So if I very quickly look at our trades from last week in Webull, here's again Sirius XM. So you see it broke its 52-week low. Looks like it got down to that support level and then it bounced probably on that Warren Buffett news. So again, we sold those cash secured puts at 23 for 245. So and when we get to our puts ROIC Google Sheet, we can look at that break even, but it's probably 21 something. So now on this bounce back, we'll look at buying those back as cheaply as possible. TMF, again, the long, leverage long on TLT, see that steady, rapid decline, particularly after the Fed interest rate decision. Again, my humble opinion, a little bit overdone. So again, we got in when it was just above its previous 52-week low, which was 42.65. It's declined further from there. So again, I've left it in our watch list. There's still an opportunity for you to get in long treasury bonds using either TMF or TLT. And again, we'll be looking also at selling covered calls now on our TMF position as it swings back up. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll go over our top swing trading stocks to watch list for this week. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, you can still get up to 40 free fractional shares of stock by opening and funding your account with at least $2,000. Under $2,000, you can get 20 free fractional shares of stock, each worth $3,000 to $3,000. If you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get your free fractional shares of stock, also any other promotions they are currently offering. You can also see now you can trade 24 hours a day on Webull, and you can get more information on 24-hour trading in Webull via the link to our bonus video and also in our Discord posting, again in our Discord. Welcome, Gerald Fitz. Thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great trading week and are doing well. So firstly, we've been watching BDRY. BDRY is the ETF on dry bulk shipping, had popped up a little bit. So seeing if we get a pullback, if it's established a stable support. If so, again, we'll look long dry bulk shipping with BDRY. You could hear our previous discussions on why we're looking at BDRY. What we like about dry bulk shipping seasonality wise via the link to the bonus video in our notes. We saw yesterday both ARK and IWM steeply declined after that Fed interest rate decision. So congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who caught that bounce in SARK, shorting ARK or in using SRTY or TZA to short the IWM or small caps. So again, hopefully you caught that. I was not nimble enough to catch that. It was a pretty dramatic move right on that Fed interest rate decision. Now, if you're a momentum trader, trend trader, etc., I saw Easy Mike was or K-Tom was talking about still interested in SARK. So there's still opportunities. You want to follow that trend, follow that momentum, and get out when it reverses. We did see a small reversal correction in both ARK and IWM on Friday. You can hear our discussion of SRTY versus TZA. And the inverse of these are URTY and TNA, I believe. So those are the longs, SRTY, TZA are the shorts. So you can hear our discussion on those via the link to the bonus video in the notes. Again, we talked about TMF, so we're leaving TMF. The leverage long on bonds, again, you can still get in at a pretty low price. Or if you'd rather not use the leveraged ETF, if you suspect choppiness, you could use TLT, or again, several other ETFs we use to trade treasuries. Lastly, on our top swing trading stocks to watch, I've left ULTY, which is the Yield Max Ultra Option Income ETF in the top swing trading stocks to watch. We're already long ULTY. We got in on the 13th. I think it was right after their last ex-dividend date. We've done several videos on our, essentially a scalping strategy on ULTY. So you can access our thesis, our discussions on ULTY via the links to the bonus videos in the notes. So we can also now watch our top swing trading stocks to watch in our watch list Google Sheet. Gets automatically generated at the end of each day. You can get 24/7 access to our watch list Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. If I do make any changes after that watch list Google Sheet is generated, then I post those to our Patreon members in the Stock Watch List Updates channel in our Discord. So you can see when I added, we'll talk about MED, MedFast being added to the Bullpen. Also, I put additional puts that we've added or updated in our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Then again, when I added TMF to the watch list on the 18th, as you can see, we pretty quickly got up his additional position in TMF. So again, you can get access to all that via joining our Patreon. Got a whole series of videos on how you can use our watch list Google Sheet to help you watch our top swing trading stocks to watch, how you can use the PE and ATR columns, the support and resistance, buy at, sell at, price targets, etc. So here's our top swing trading stocks to watch list in our watch list Google Sheet. So you can see we've got current pricing information, price targets, support resistance, buy it, sell it, price targets. You can see the risk reward profile. You can see their dividend information, earnings dates, next earnings dates, optionality information, and again, PE and ATR help you set stops as well as price targets, sell price targets. So if I quickly look at those in Webull, so again, here's BDRY, recently made a new 52-week low at 571, bounced up a little bit up to that pivot point. So we'll see if it comes back down. You can see it's kind of choppy, low volume. So we'll see if we get a dip and can get into BDRY or if it's going to continue to swing up from there. Talked about TMF. Here's ULTY. Again, we got in right after the ex-dividend date on the 13th. Again, it broke down with the decline in technology, with the Qs. It's heavy in the Qs, several other technology stocks. It did rebound on Friday. We'll scalp that off, and once it gets profitable, probably won't hold it. It has a tendency, again, to trend up, as you can see, into its ex-dividend date. So we'll wait for it to get profitable and probably scalp that off. Okay, let me grab another quick drink and we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. Welcome, John, Bell Dog. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all are doing well. So again, here's our bullpen stocks. If you're new to our community, concept of the bullpen stocks are ones that don't necessarily have the setup for our top swing trading stocks to watch right now, but I've identified that they may in the near future, so we put them in the bullpen. If their setup improves, then we'll put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. If they run away or they break down, then we'll just take them out of the bullpen and we can revisit them again in the future. So briefly, we'll go over our updates to our bullpen stocks for this week. So firstly, I'm taking AHR test systems out of the bullpen. It already popped up on news, contract news. Congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who caught that pop in AHR and profited from that trade idea. Again, we'd love it if you'd share with your fellow traders if you profit from one of our trade ideas. It'd be great to share that with your fellow traders and encourage them to join our BeachBum trading community. And again, also then they can profit from our trade ideas as well. Leaving AMDY in the bullpen, we are already long AMDY. We got in right before the ex-dividend, collected the dividend for December. Again, AMD has continued to decline, again, part with the negative sentiment change in semiconductors as well as technology. Waiting for a bounce in AMD, or this becomes profitable. Again, I'll probably scalp that off, and when it gets above our cost basis, on a rebound again in AMD. You can hear our discussion on AMDY via the link to the video in the notes. Also going to take BITI, which is the short on Bitcoin, out of our bullpen. Again, Bitcoin broke down below 100,000. We're still long BITI. We got in a little bit too early right after the election. But again, Bitcoin's broken down below 100,000 now. Again, if you're a momentum trader, trend trader, and you want to try to follow Bitcoin down, you think it's going to go down further, you could use BITI or SBIT. You can hear our comparison of SBIT to BITI. Now, if you think Bitcoin's going to rebound and head back up, you might look at BITO to trade Bitcoin futures long. Welcome, Ricky Khan, Walter Lyons. Thank you all for joining us today. I've also left land in the bullpen, although we're, again, still already long land. It's continued to decline. It is a long swing trade for us, more a swing trade than a dividend payer, although it does pay a small monthly dividend. Again, we're waiting for them to dispose of some unproductive real estate. Again, the Fed interest rate decision, very negative for real estate, REITs, etc. So there may be further downward pressure on land. We're adding MED, MedFast, to our bullpen. I added it back on the 19th. We had previously done a quick due diligence on MED, MedFast, that you can access via the bonus link to the video in the notes. Again, they do like weight loss products. I'm a little hesitant on that one until the first of the year. In January, after the holidays, after everyone's binged for the holidays, there tends to be an upswing in any kind of weight loss, exercise equipment, etc. Traditionally, that was a January trend, and we'll see if we get a swing back up in MED. But again, I'm probably going to wait until January after the holidays, because again, MED could be vulnerable to some last-minute tax loss selling as well. So I put it in the bullpen. We'll keep an eye on it. It looks like it's near a multiple bottom. Also taking SOXL out of the bullpen. It bounced up. It's already run up a little bit. Again, we can watch this. ETFs are trading semiconductors, SOXL long, SOXL short in the in our ETFs Google sheet, and you can hear our discussion on how to use SOXL and SOXS to trade semiconductors via the link in the notes. So again, now you can also watch our bullpen stocks and our watch list Google sheets. You can see our price targets, risk reward profiles. You can pick ones, with the PE that you like, with the ATR, volatility that you like, whether it's optional or not, optionable or not, dividend payments, etc. So again, much easier for us to trade directly off of our bullpen Google sheet as well. So if I look at our bullpen stocks in Webull, and easy to have multiple watch lists in Webull. So again, for an entry point in AMDY, I recommend watching the trend in AMD, although again, this is a yield max monthly dividend payer on AMD, slightly different behavior, particularly on the ex-dividend dates. Last ex-dividend date for this one, I think, was the 12th or 13th. So we're waiting for that to swing back up again on a recovery in AMD. See that steady downtrend. Looks like AMD bounced a little bit, but again, we'll wait for AMD to swing back up. But if you're looking for an entry point, a bottom, a support level in AMD, might be a good entry point in AMDY. And again, be aware of the ex-dividend dates. These are monthly. Again, land's been in steady decline for quite a while, had disappointing earnings. Again, we're waiting for it to swing back up. hopefully on disposal of some of their underperforming properties. But again, more downward pressure on real estate REITs due to the interest rate decision. And here's MED, Medfast. So if we zoom out a little bit, this 17 area seems to be a pretty good support area. It's been just below and touching that for quite a while. So long bottoming formation. But again, I would be hesitant getting in. You see it recently been in a pretty steep downward trend, broke down below that support level. So again, we'll watch it into January and see if it swings back up on that, after holiday weight loss exercise type theme. Okay, I've got quite a few honorable mentions that you all can take a look at if and when you would like. I'm just compiling that list as we generally haven't had time to cover them, and I'll keep building that list. And as we have time, we can whittle off that list and do some due diligence on some of those honorable mentions. I want to cover shopping list stocks very quickly. So again, we always recommend you have your shopping list of stocks ready for any irrational reactions to them in the markets and earnings. And we definitely got some high volatility around the Fed interest rate decision, opportunity potentially for you to pick up some of your shopping list stocks. Again, just a reminder, none of our content should be considered financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content is for education and hopefully some entertainment purposes only. But we always recommend you stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. And again, with the higher for longer from the change in the economic projections, the dot plot from the Fed, slower rate of interest rates, in my humble opinion, is going to put more pressure on these zombie companies. I think we'll see more of them go bankrupt. They're going to have a more difficult time issuing debt, issuing offerings, refinancing their debt. So again, if you're concerned about the risk of bankruptcy or offerings or reverse splits from either any biotech, any money losing stock, be it a biotech or again, any other kind of money losing stock, you can calculate their quarter's cash flow positive using our biotech due diligence Google sheet. And we have several videos in the series via the link in the notes showing you how you can use our quarter's cash flow positive to identify any risk of bankruptcy or offerings, reverse splits, etc., in any of these money losing stocks. Also, we should be pretty much winding up with the tax loss harvesting. Most of it should have probably already occurred, but stocks that are down big for the year may be at risk for some last minute tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling. If you're not familiar with what that means, you can access more information about tax loss harvesting, how that works, and also what the wash sale rule is. And again, when that has abated and the wash sale rule has expired, we'll look for some of the laggards to possibly swing back up probably early January. So I added VTI to our shopping list. VTI is the ETF that we kind of prefer in terms of an index fund versus VLO or VT or even the Qs. Again, you can hear our thesis on why we prefer VTI as ETF to kind of buy an index fund for long-term trends in the market. And now you can also watch VTI in our shopping list as well as our other shopping list stocks. See, we have several REITs, several of the Yield Maxes, Mag 7s, etc. Also USOI, monthly dividend payer on oil. So that's one, if that comes down to its 52-week low. Actually, I think I have an order sitting just above that to catch any rapid declines in oil. Buy a big chunk of USOI. And we're watching WEAT but watching the future price, I got a price alert on the futures price of wheat. That triggers and it hits its 52-week low, or wheat looks like it's bottomed and turning back up. We'll take along with wheat. So again, several of these, in addition to our top swing trading stocks to watch in our bullpen, we can use our shopping list and identify trade opportunities using our shopping list. So again, here's VTI. So 52-week lows is still pretty high. But if we do get a significant correction in the market, I'll dump quite a bit of cash into VTI and then wait for a long-term recovery. So I hope that all helps. Okay, let me grab a drink and we're going to talk about dividend stocks. I've got some significant enhancements to our Dividend Payers Google Sheet that I want to go over, and then we'll look at some new dividend payers as well. Okay, in addition to our swing trading, we also use dividend payer stocks, dividend paying stocks and ETFs to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. And we use our dividend payers Google Sheet to identify those dividend payers with the type of yield we want, type of price appreciation, type of risk reward profile, etc. And again, you can do likewise. You can get 24/7 access to our Dividend Payers Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. So again, firstly, I want to go over recent additional enhancements to our Dividend Payers Google Sheet. I had proposed something similar to these last week. So I've implemented these enhancements in our main Dividend Payers Google Sheet. So my goal was to be able to compare the total return on various dividend paying stocks that included their price appreciation as well as their dividend. Part of the impetus for this was finding it difficult to figure out if the dividends paid by some of the yield maxes like AMDY and ULTY was worth the loss in price appreciation, as they have a tendency to trend down, particularly like ULTY. So I wanted a way to be able to compare them more apples to apples with a total return percentage. So I backed into that calculation. So firstly, I added their trailing 12 months dividend for the year. Also, I calculated the starting price for the year so I can then get their price appreciation. So take their performance for the year, 1 plus their performance, or the current price divided by 1 plus their performance divided by 100. So again, calculate, okay, given their performance for the year, where did they start? And so I could get the year-ending price appreciation, be it positive or negative. And then from that, calculate the dollar figure total return, and then a percentage. And again, another reason I wanted the total return is because the yield is sensitive to the price, current price. So the yield of a dividend payer goes up when the price goes down, even though potentially the total return is not really going up. So in my humble opinion, I find this very helpful and much better than the yield to be able to identify those that have significant price appreciation, even though their performance may have been negative this year. They're near a bottom, near support, they've got significant potential price appreciation. We can look at that in terms of their yield potential. And a question I have for the community is if you want me to leave these columns that are part of the calculations, but not really the end result. So if you want, the starting price, price appreciation, total return dollars left in the spreadsheet or not. In some ways, I think it's beneficial, but again, love your feedback on whether you want those input variables left in the spreadsheet or you find it distracting. So just very quickly, I'll use AMDY as an example. So now we can see that the total return of AMDY is actually negative. So if we go over to the inputs, see the calculated starting price for AMDY was 21.87. Current price is 9. So it's lost 11.96 this year. It paid 11.12 this year. So it lost about 84 cents. So given the current price, it's got a negative 8%. So again, not one I would buy for the dividend for the total return. But again, I'm playing that on a swing back up in AMD. So I'm looking also at the potential, the yield potential. Again, since it's at a bottom, we're looking for price appreciation, but again, not one I would hold for the dividend. Again, I find this new data very helpful, particularly for the yield maxes. And again, we have many of the yield maxes at the top of our ad sheet. So here again is ULTY. You see it has a negative 34% total return. It shows a yield potential, but again, if you look at yield at ULTY, it's performed very negatively for the year. Should probably look at ULTY in the main sheet where it's got the dividend year to date filled in. So if we look at the data here, it's paid out 848 for the year, but lost 980 in price appreciation. So again, not one I would recommend buying for a long-term dividend payer, as it has a negative total return. And again, it has a tendency just to swing up and then decline, swing up into its ex-dividend date and then decline. So again, I would be looking just for scalps on things like that. So again, I find this very helpful. You can see most of the yield maxes have a negative total return, with the exception of AMZY, Apple 0. Coney is very negative, FBY is slightly positive. So again, this was a great way. NVDY is pretty good. But again, this was a great way, in my humble opinion, to see that I don't want to hold these yield maxes for just holding them for the dividend long term. They might be good for scalps, short-term swing trades, but again, not those I would recommend for holding long term, as they have had a negative total return. So again, I'd love y'all's feedback on what you think of these new enhancements. If there's any further improvements that I can make that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. In our Discord, again, our Discord's free to join, with the exception of the few channels that I mentioned that are exclusive to our Patreon members. And please tag us with any recommendations, improvements, enhancements, etc. We're BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no other characters, symbols, numbers, etc. We also have a suggestion box, so you can put my recommendations in there. Or again, we have all kinds of other channels open to everyone, where you can discuss all kinds of topics related to trading, different asset classes, different trading styles, etc. So we'd love to have you join our Patreon as well. Thank you for the positive feedback, Sydney. I hope it helps. Yes, I found it very helpful that it tells me I don't want to hold the yield maxes long term. And now again, we can compare any dividend paying stocks in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet. using the total return, yield potential, as well as the input data to those calculations. So I've got a couple additions that people have mentioned I want to look at in the ad sheet. So the first one is AIPI. This is an AI equity premium income ETF that RT mentioned in last week's chat for our last week's part 2. That was an interesting addition since it's AI based. So if you're looking for a dividend payer on AI, we can look at this AIPI. Again, you can search either our main dividend payers or our ad sheet. So here's AIPI. So it's showing a positive total return of 2.65%, so not real high. It's currently significantly above its 52-week low. Risk reward for 52 weeks, about 1.3. It's relatively new, so we don't have a lot of other data on it. You can see it paid $7.40 this year. Got an additional $1.35 in price appreciation, so that's pretty positive. We look at the chart for AIPI and FinViz. So again, you can access the profiles for any dividend payer via the FinViz URL and the notes or FinViz URL column. Okay, so here's AIPI. So again, we see it's relatively new. It's only been around since June. Looks like it bottomed in August, has rebounded pretty nicely. Got a little bit of a downturn, so maybe the downward pressure in the tech stocks and growth stocks, AI stocks, might be an opportunity. See, it last paid $1.51, $1.47, so pretty attractive dividend payment. Pretty decent AUM. Volume's a little light, so might be choppy. Showing 14.5 nominal yield. It is not optionable. See its composition, so it's heavy Palantir, NVIDIA, CrowdStrike, ARM, Broadcom. Then you've got some Mag 7s, Alphabet, Google, Apple, Arista, Microsoft. So a pretty broad group of AI related. The BITA AI Leaders Select Index is what their basis is. So not familiar with that offhand, but again, you can see what their current holdings are. You think that's a pretty good dividend payer long term, again, possibly buy the dip. Again, it's got a pretty nice total return for this year and some decent price appreciation. So thank you again, RT, for sharing AIPI. Please let us know, anyone, if you've used this as a dividend payer, what you think of AIPI for a dividend payer on AI stocks. Please let us know your feedback in the comments, in our Discord, etc. Okay, the second one I want to quickly look at was mentioned by Katon, Easy Mike in the chat from last week's part 2. This is JN. He asked me to add it to our sheet. This is JPRE, JP Morgan Realty Income. We'll take a look at that one. So here's JPRE, JP Morgan Realty Income. See, it's got a total return of 7.17, so that's pretty attractive. Got some, yield potential. Currently at 47.25. So it's, significantly above its 52-week low right now. So the risk reward, a little more to the risk right now. So it's been up. We look at their chart. So here's JPRE. We see it ran up into a double top at 52, since declined. Not identified as a REIT, so it's just an ETF on Realty. So let's see what it's composed of. So only nominal yield of 2.3, but we saw the total return was very positive, had good performance for the year, sizable AUM, pretty light volume. So it's got a mixture of real estate, Equinix. We've got the data center related. We've got some cell tower companies. That's a logistics warehouse company, Digital Realty, another data center. Beaches, like casinos. So, and then we've got some homes for rent. So a mixture of real estate. Borrowing, equity, securities, and real estate investment trusts. So other REITs. REITs with relatively small market capitalization. Equity REITs and mortgage REITs. So you're sensitive to interest rates. This is, again, might significantly decline. And we did see that significant decline on the Fed interest rate decision down to its 200-day moving average. So possibly that might be your opportunity there. Yeah, we see it came down to that moving average. So it might be a good opportunity if you like that total return. You think their real estate will recover and bounce back up going forward. This correction in the market due to the Fed's interest rate decision might be a nice opportunity to get into JPRE. We zoom out. You see it's relatively new, so it's still relatively high. So again, the question is, will it continue to perform going forward as it has in the past year, or will it decline further? So thank you again, Easy Mike, for sharing JPRE with us. And again, I'd love to hear further feedback, your experience with JPRE. Do you think it's going to continue to perform going forward as it has? Why or why not? Last one we added to our ad sheet is MARPS, Marine Petroleum Trust, another energy, oil and gas midstream company. This I identified as a multiple bottom in FinViz on the 17th. So I wanted to see if that was a energy trust that might be attractive. So we'll take a quick look at that. So it doesn't look like I filled in the total return data for that one. Oh, because it doesn't have the current pricing. For whatever reason, Google's not returning the current price where the low is high. So we can see got a support to resistance range of 1.72, pretty nice bottom to top. See, it only paid 36 cents for a dividend this year. Okay, MARPS in FinViz. See, it's been declining. Again, we see that multiple bottom. Pays a pretty small dividend, 10 cents, 9 cents quarterly. So it's showing a yield of 9%, but again, a lot of that's probably price depreciation. It's only 36 cents a year, performed pretty poorly for the year. It's not a ETF per se. Pretty low PE, not showing any debt. It's also not really showing any income. So since it's not an ETF, we can't really see their holdings. So royalty trust, interest in oil and natural gas leases and Gulf of Mexico and coastal Louisiana, Texas. So probably your oil rigs, etc. Again, been in pretty steady decline. So if you think that the theme will improve, might be a energy trust that you might be interested in. We looked at another one last week. That was a theme that's been recommended by several going forward. So let me know what you all think of MARPS, these oil and natural gas midstreams, royalty trusts, etc. If you have any experience with them, what you think, that would be great. Welcome Born to Be Free. Glad to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you've been doing well. Okay. If anyone else in the chat, I'll leave the dividend payers up. If anyone else has anything else you want to take a look at, we'll try to keep an eye on the chat. Spend a lot of time on our dividend payers enhancements, so I'll jump forward. But again, if you want to look at any other dividend payers, we can do so. Again, now you can use the total yield to identify those with a positive total yield as potential, buy and holds for the dividends for a total yield versus those that you might lose more in price depreciation versus the dividends that they pay. And you can compare that information via the calculation columns towards the right. So again, let me know if that all helps. Okay, let me grab a drink and we'll talk about our option strategies. Okay, we also use several option strategies to also generate income while we're waiting for our swing trading stocks to set up. First is with covered calls. So we sell covered calls when our positions are going up, buy them back when they're coming back down. And we've got a whole series of videos on how you can use our covered calls Google Sheet to do what-if analysis on various covered call strategies. And again, you can do likewise, use our covered calls Google Sheet, do what-if analysis on your covered call strategies by joining our Patreon. Just FYI, I'm working on, in my humble opinion, some significant additional enhancements to our covered calls strategy, covered calls Google Sheet that I hope to have in production soon. Our other strategy is selling puts when stocks are going down, buy them back when they're bouncing back up, like as you could see that we did with Sirius XM. See our criteria for selecting stocks to sell puts on in our notes. And again, we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to identify opportunities to sell and then buy back puts. And again, you can do likewise, get 24/7 access to our puts ROIC Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. Got a number of additions and updates to our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Quickly go through and then we can look at any additional opportunities. So I moved AMD up from our research sheet to our main sheet. Get another way to trade AMD would be selling puts. Again, AMD's been in steady decline. So I wanted to see if that was a better way to trade AMD. Also, HIMX Technologies popped up on some positive news. So again, congratulations to all of our BeachBum traders who profited from our trade ID on HIMX. I want to look at if it did start to correct some coming back down. So I wanted to see if there was an opportunity there to trade puts on HIMX, as well as we'll swing trade that again when it comes back down. Also, I added Micron at the 80 strike for January. I wanted to get Micron declined on disappointing earnings, so I wanted to see if there was an opportunity there. Also, yesterday I mentioned several potential opportunities for ways to short volatility, short the VIX, that I wanted to take a look at. So I thought, well, let's look at selling puts. If the VIX spikes, then SVXY would decline, so would SVOL. So I wanted to see which strategy would be better, maybe putting either a buy at the bottom of SVXY or selling puts against either SVOL or SVXY. So I'm going to be looking at those, researching those using our puts ROIC Google Sheet. And in our research sheet, several stocks, had significant declines. So I lowered their strike prices so that their current price was not above the strike price. So the delta was reasonable given our criteria. So I lowered APA from 21 to 1750, CBS from 4750. I'll have to see what I change that to. Again, very negative, a lot of negative news on CBS. I'm not really interested in touching that anytime soon. You can hear our previous discussion on selling puts on CBS, FMC, which is a agricultural input, I believe, lowered that from 50 to 45, Mosaic 24 to 22.25, Schlumberger down from 37.50 to 35, and SLP from 30 to 25. So again, if we look at the main sheet, our main watch list sheet, again, I'm still got a sell sitting out on Intel. So as you want to sell puts on Intel, pretty attractive ROIC right now. I've got them sitting at 315 or even higher, as that was the 52-week high. So I'm considering, and I get alerted whether I should lower that price. It's a little below the strike price, but the break even at that 315, it could keep my break even pretty low. I think that's near or below their 3-year low. Also, you can see the series I sold at 23. So my break even, 2055. I'm watching SOXL, but again, SOXL bounced back up. So here's also the information on SVOL and SVXY. So I did put a sell out on SVXY at 40 for $6, pretty high. That would be a 12% return. So if the VIX spikes, another way to catch those spikes quickly in the VIX would be that put would sell, hopefully. Possibly, I'm generally not nimble enough to catch those turns in the VIX in real time. But again, we're watching both ends. So UVXY, if the VIX declines, we could sell puts on that. If it spikes, we can look at selling puts on SVXY. So see if there's anything else in the research sheet that's very attractive right now. We've already sold those. NEP has bounced back up. Just waiting for those to expire or get cheap enough to buy back. That's about it right now. So again, if you'd like us to add anything to our automated systems and our puts ROIC Google Sheet, just let us know. The symbol, the ticker, the expiration dates, the strike prices, and plug it into my automated systems. It'll update the options information and then populate our puts ROIC Google Sheet with that information at the end of the day. Got a whole series of videos on how you can use our puts ROIC Google Sheet, our covered calls Google Sheet, option strategies for beginners with examples, so you can access those series via the link in the notes. Also, we've got a whole playlist of additional videos on how you can make money trading options that you can access via the link in our notes or find on our YouTube channel. Okay, so I got through all of that in an hour, so I knew it was going to be a lot. So if there's any last minute questions, tickers you want to look at, please let me know. Otherwise, if you put them in the comments to any of our videos, or again in our Discord, tag us in our Discord if you'd like us to look at any additional stocks for just due diligence for swing trading, for addition to our dividend payers or our puts ROIC, etc. We also love your feedback on what we can do to improve our weekly trading game plans, any of our other videos, any of our tools, resources, any of our Google Sheets, our community, etc. We really need your feedback as to what do you want to see going forward, what would help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, and would add value for all of our BeachBum traders in our community. We hope that you like this content. We'd greatly appreciate it if you'd smash the like button. Help us try to get the Google algorithm to show us some love, share our content with more traders, help build our BeachBum trading community. On those lines, we would really appreciate it if you directly share our content with your fellow traders, repost our content on your social media, invite your fellow traders to join us in the live chat, invite them to join us in our Discord. We need and would greatly appreciate your support to continue this effort. So otherwise, if I don't see you all before Christmas, I want to wish you and your families a very Merry Christmas, very happy holidays. Enjoy the time off. Just a reminder, markets close 1 p.m. on Tuesday, closed for Christmas. So enjoy the time with your family, enjoy the holidays, and we'll hope to see you back next week for our next weekly trading game plan. And in the shortened trading week, we wish you good luck and have a great trading week.